Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the parking lot, and what we're going to cover today is the number one thing that you should be doing to dial in your slow riding. Now, that's with anything dealing with slow riding, whether it's smooth starts and stops, sharp turns, especially the right turns, because you know that I think that is one of the most dangerous turns you can make, or any patterns you're doing if you are in the parking lot practicing your patterns. Now, one thing I always say, once you get in the parking lot and finish practicing, you got to go out there and put it on the street and apply it. Why? That gives you muscle memory, and that helps you out in your daily riding, especially those of you who have to put your bike up for the winter. You want to go out there in the parking lot and get a little bit more practice in. And it's not the time where you just go out there and do 2 or 3 minute practices. Go out there and get you some practice in so when you get out on the street, it's muscle memory. But today's video is about just what you need to be practicing to get your slow riding skills up to par. And that is the slow race. Now, I'm not talking about the slow race that you see with people doing in competitions. We're not trying to make you a rodeo rider, but the slow race. So what's the slow race consist of? Everything that you've always been doing. Friction zone, steady throttle, using the rear brake as needed, and controlling your speed with the friction zone and the rear brake. Once you get that down, everything starts to fall in place. Now, how fast you should be going? How many miles an hour should the slow race be? Well, you take the average walking stride, exclude stride, age, whether you're going uphill or downhill, of everybody on the planet, and the average speed of everyone on the planet at a nice walking pace, not fast and not extremely slow. The average speed is 2.5 to 4 miles an hour. That's correct, 2.5 to 4 miles an hour. This is the speed you should be practicing your slow race. Now, I'm gonna get on the bike and demonstrate it, and I'm gonna have the camera in front of me. I'm gonna turn around and come back and do it a couple times and walk you through exactly what I'm doing. Now, once you get that dialed in and you got a lot of confidence in that, then when you start doing all your U-turns, I personally make my U-turns at 8 to 10 miles an hour. You will actually know how fast or slow you can go through your U-turns. Some U-turns, tight turns, you're gonna have to lean the bike. Some turns you can actually do it straight up, like 30 feet, 27 feet U-turns. You can do the bike with the bike straight up. As long as you do the thing that you're supposed to be doing, turning the handlebar, looking where you wanna go, number one rule of motorcycle, looking where you wanna go, and leaning the bike a little bit on those tight turns. But this is all about the slow race. Now, I'm in a parking lot where I'm in the middle and it's 24 feet, just like the average street, 24 feet. So you should be able to make U-turns on 24 feet. But what I'm gonna do with the slow race is go down the center of the parking lot, and you will see my bike wobble a little bit. That's okay. Probably going too slow. I'm probably trying to do something like the competition slow race speed, but that's not what this video is about. So as I get up speed about 4 miles an hour, and you can look at your speedometer, just kind of glance down at it to see that you're getting around 4 miles an hour, but don't stare at it. Around 4 miles an hour. If you go 5, that's okay. If you go 2.5, that's okay also. So let me put on my gear, hop on the bike, change the camera angle for you guys so you can see me coming towards the camera and doing about 4 miles an hour. And that's gonna get you up to par with your slow skills, especially when you have to rally with all these bikes and you don't wanna duck walk, put your landing gear down, especially when you're in traffic and the traffic is not coming to a complete stop, but you're afraid to go slow because you're afraid to put your feet down. Go out there and practice, and I guarantee you will be able to do this on any bike. I'm doing these maneuvers on a big Gold Wing. So I'm confident when you get your confidence level up doing a slow race, you'll be able to do what you want to do with practice. So I'm about to gear up, and we're going to get this thing going. As you can see, this parking lot do not have a true center line. So I put the camera in the center, and then I'm going to go do a slow race coming toward the camera so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, what I'm doing from back here, I'm going to throttle up, keep my throttle at a steady pace. I'm just coming toward the camera, going about 2.5 to 4 miles an hour, practicing my slow race. What's going on is my foot is on the rear brake, and I'm dragging the rear brake as I need to. And my right hand is in a friction zone. The clutch hand is in a friction zone. Never touch the front brake, because if you need to come to a sudden stop, your fork's going to dip, and if your handlebar turns, you are going down. So here I go from a stop, get about, that's about 4 miles an hour for me right there. And now this is not nothing that you do in competition. If I go slower, you can see my wheel kind of wobbly. But if I pick it up a little bit, about 4 miles an hour, I can do about 4 miles an hour and come towards the camera. Go around and make a U-turn. So you can see it from the opposite direction. Here you go, the opposite direction. This here is about 4 miles an hour. My foot is on a rear brake, dragging a rear brake. If I take my foot off the brake, I still can control this speed with my clutch hand. And as you can see, I'm wobbling a little bit, and that doesn't make a difference. And what this is going to do is help you out with all your slow maneuvers. So what I'm going to do next is show you I can go 4 miles an hour, but then when I start my slow scale maneuvers like U-turns and right turns and all of that, the U-turns, I do my U-turns somewhere around 8 to 10 miles an hour. So let me back up. I'm going to go slow and go into a U-turn. And obviously this is 24 feet. Go into my U-turn, and you're going to see, when it comes to U-turns, everything remains the same. You check your mirrors, make sure it's clear behind you. Make sure that you whip your head around, lean the bike if you need to if it's a tight U-turn, and stay in the friction zone. Very little pressure on the rear brake and a steady throttle. So here we go. This about, okay, now I'm about 4 miles an hour. Traffic is thick. I need to make a U-turn to go back the opposite way. I look at my mirrors, mirrors clear. No traffic coming from in front of me. I speed up a little bit, head round, lean bike, and make that U-turn. A nice 24-foot U-turn. What else? Probably about 20 feet. Same thing going the opposite direction. Now I'm back in the traffic, going slow, super slow, coming to a nice smooth stop with the heel roll. Now, if you guys could see, if this camera picking it up, when I made that stop, I wanted to get on the angle from the camera so you can see my foot doing a smooth stop. And my handlebars are turned. This is why it's so important, very, very important, to ride in the friction zone and use the rear brake only. If I were to turn my handlebars like this and grab my front brake, force collapse, gravity works. So I'm just going to do a little practice here, a couple of U-turns, and show you how fast I normally do them, around 10 miles an hour. And that all comes from practicing the slow race. So here we go. I'm on a dead-end street, wrong street, slowing down the clutch, brake. Need to make a U-turn, head turn, lean the bike, whip around, make a U-turn. Same thing coming back the other way on a 24-foot street. Use all my real estate. Continue. Now, if you want to know your bike lean angle, contrary to popular belief, you can make these tight turns without scraping. So if you scraping, don't panic. So I'm going to make a tight left U-turn, or probably just do circles, and see if the camera will pick it up if I scrape my floorboards. Right here, hard lean. There it is right there. Now, if I go any further, I will fall. Nice smooth stop. Off the throttle, feet down, kickstand down, which turns the bike off, and I'm done. So go out there and practice your slow race. Now, if you get to the point to where you actually want to start doing competitions, you're going to have to go slower than 2.5 miles an hour. Trust me. So that's all I have for today. So go out there and practice your slow race. But if you're out riding, remember, ride long, ride hard, ride strong, and most importantly, ride safe. From Boots and Jeans Riders, I'm Rich, and I'm out. Peace.